Okay, so I own a 2008 Ford Escape, and I've been having the same issue. I just left a stoplight, speed limit's 55. As soon as I get up to about 50 miles an hour, you'll see my traction control light click on. Nope, not gonna do it this time. And then it's gonna bog my engine down to back below 50, and it keeps going up and down, up and down. And it's not doing it. We'll see if it does it here in a minute. It's been doing it pretty constantly or consistently. I think I've diagnosed it to a wheel speed sensor, and this car, of course, has 4 wheel speed sensors. I'm going to first try and replace the front 2 sensors and see if that fixes the problem. And then if the problem consists, I'm going to go to the rear sensors, and the reason that is the front sensors are about half the price that the wheel sensors would cost me. So I figure I'll do the cheapest first, see if that doesn't fix the problem. The other reason I want to do the front sensors first is because it's a front wheel drive vehicle, and that just makes sense that it would be the front wheels that are causing the problem. Alright, I finally gotten the vehicle to start acting up again. So you see I'm driving fine as long as I'm around 40 miles an hour. Once I get up to 50, there it goes. The traction control light will click on, and it will drag my vehicle's speed back down. Even though the gas pedal is fully pressed, I have no speed. Once I get below, usually around 45, you'll hear the engine take off again. Here it comes. Oh wow, it's not doing it. Getting way worse. Now we're down to 30. There goes the engine. I haven't changed how I'm driving. That was the same gas pedal pressure I had when it was dropping down as what I have now. It just keeps fluctuating up and down. I was told this is due to a speed control sensor. Now I don't know if it's the front or the rear. This vehicle and most vehicles have 4 wheel control sensors in them or on them. I have bought the front 2 to start and see if that fixes the issue. So the next time you see me, I'm going to show you one more time what it does. If I get it up to speed, there's a curve coming, so give me a minute and I'll be able to get above. There it goes anyways. So even in a turn, trying to go into a turn, the car's acting up, lights flashing, traction control. The ground is not wet. It hasn't rained in probably 3 weeks. It's the middle of August, so there's definitely no snow on the ground. It's just something to do with the speed control sensor in this vehicle. The vehicle I have is a 2008 Ford Escape. I apologize for the video going back and forth. It's a curvy road. I have the phone mounted on the steering wheel so you all can see what I'm trying to show you. So next time you see me, I will be in the garage taking apart the tire. Alright, I've pulled my vehicle into my garage. I have taken off the lug nuts on the front tire. I'm doing the driver's side of the vehicle. The techniques and the steps I do will be the exact same for the passenger side as well. I'm not going to videotape both sides since it'll just be duplicating. I've already loosened the lug nuts, like I said. I didn't really want a video of myself doing that since it's pretty self-explanatory. Next, I'm going to take off the tire and try and locate the speed control sensor. Okay, so I went to the auto parts store and got 2 front wheel speed sensors. They recommend not just buying the sensor itself, which I believe is this part up here, but to buy the entire harness, because more than likely they said somewhere in the harness is what failed. There's a piece in the harness that's failed, not just the sensor. So your auto parts store might try to sell you just the sensor. Go ahead and spend the extra couple bucks and buy the entire kit or entire harness. With it laid out, I now can see exactly where the current speed sensor is, that piece is this piece here. So that boot is what we're looking at right there. Goes down along the sidewall. There's that metal bracket I got. There's a screw there I got to take out. Most of it looks like just clips, so it should be fairly simple. There's another screw, if you can see it or not, in there. So there's 2 screws and a clip at this point. And then on this end that goes to the wheel itself, there's another screw. So I'm going to start here at the wheel. So I'm behind the rotor. So there's my brakes. There's the rotor. There's where the tire would go. I'm right behind there, and there's your sensor. That is supposedly what should be bad, but according to the auto store, it could be somewhere else along the harness. So I'm going to start by taking this bolt apart, pull it out, come up here, unbolt it here. It's hard to see that bolt, but it's right there. Follow the sensor, follow it up. There's another bolt here. And then finally pulling out the sensor out of the fender that's probably hooked up somewhere in the engine bay or engine well. I'll have to figure out. Seems loose. I'm sure it just pops right out with the screwdriver. So I'll be right back to show you all those pieces. Alright, I was finally able to get the wheel sensor out. I'm going to tell you it was not easy. I should have paid more attention. There's little notches on the end of the sensor that I didn't realize. So I was trying to pull it out of the hole the wrong way. So I broke the plastic, but luckily I'm not using it anyway. So you can see where I broke off the tabs right here because I wasn't paying attention to the way it's designed to come out. There's a little notch right here that I did not pay attention to. So when you pull it out of here, you have to do a half or a quarter return and then up. So loosen it, pull straight up, quarter turn, then pull it out. And that will get you out a lot easier than it took me. Next, I'm going to take apart this bolt and this bolt and see where we're at. Alright, so I've loosened both brackets. The harness is now just hanging here loosely. That bracket went there, I loosened that bolt, and this bracket went right here, and I loosened that. So now I just need to pull the entire harness onto the other side of the tire. The shock. And now I'm up to this point here. This comes with a new plastic piece, so I'm not too concerned if I break the teeth off of that one. It's fine. And then this piece here I'll also have to pry out with the screwdriver, I'm sure, flathead screwdriver. Well, that'll be my next two. I'll pop this off with the flathead screwdriver and pop this out and show you how it connects. Both those were really simple. Like I said, you could have released the clip so that the wire and harness would have came out, but since they sent me with a new one, or it comes with a new one, you might as well just go ahead and connect up the new one. Now I'm ready to disconnect the electrical, this end, which is right here. It has a little push button on it. So you push that, look how easy it is. Pops right off. I was not pre-done or nothing. That was me trying it the very first time on video. It popped off that easy. So there's my old wiring harness. I'm going to throw it to the side. And we'll start with the new wiring harness, going in the exact opposite order. So, trying this one-handed. Oh, come on. There we go. Yep. We're going to push it on till it clicks. Make sure it's tight, which it's very tight. Push it back up into the engine bay. This might be difficult one-handed. Nope. Snapped in nicely. I like that. Now this simply pushes into that hole. I don't know. Man, so far pretty smooth. So there's my bracket. I gotta go on the other side of the shock, so I'm just gonna reach my hand through, grab the entire bracket. Try and do this one-handed, so I may have to put the camera down or the phone down. Alright, so I had to use 2 hands. So we're pushing it through, and now we're on the other side. I don't want to be on this side of that wire. It needs to be over here. So I'm just going to feed it nicely down. So we're down. That bracket lines up with this hole right here. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. I'll put the bolt back in there. I'm going to videotape me doing that. And then I'm going to also put the bolt for this bracket, clips on right here. There's a little tooth or tab. There's a notch. I don't know if you can see it. And then that fits right in the notch. Oops. That fits nicely right in that notch. And then you just bolt it in, and then I'll come right back. Okay, something I need to add is this bracket up here also had a tab. I didn't realize until I bolted it down. It's right here. So it has a tab that goes right into the fender, so you can't mess up the alignment. Once again, this one had a tab I showed you. I have both bolts connected, so the only thing I have left now is to feed the sensor, the wheel sensor. Try and get so you can see. Back through that hole. So this sensor, I can't pry it out like I did last time. It's got a notch it needs to follow. And I'm having a hard time seeing the notch. May have to put the camera down. There should be a notch I can line it up with. So let me put the camera down, find that notch, I'll be right back. Alright, so like I said, there is a notch that allows it to line up properly. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. There it goes. Goes in. So we got it in. And then I gotta give it a twist. So now it's lined up with the hole. Oops. Lined up with that hole. Ready to put my bolt in. Tighten her down. And we'll be all done. And that's how you replace a wheel speed sensor in your car. Now your car may be a little bit different. I found it fairly simple to follow once I bought the sensor from the auto store. Like I said, I bought the sensor and the harness together, so that was a lot better of a price. I think it cost me $10 more than just buying the sensor, because like I said, they said most of the time it's the harness that's bad, not the sensor. So you can go ahead and buy the whole kit. It literally took me 15 minutes to do this entire job, and the Ford dealership I think wanted like $100, not counting the sensor, which was 25 bucks. So what cost me $25 would have cost me anywhere from $125 to $150. I didn't ask him how much the part was at the store or at the dealership. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you like these types of videos, hit subscribe. Okay, the tools I use to replace my wheel speed control sensors is a hammer. I use 2 different size flathead screwdrivers, kind of a thinner flathead, a little bit broader flathead. I used a 1/4 inch socket with a 3-inch extension on it. And then the 1/4-inch sockets, I just needed 2 different ones for mine. This is a 5/16, and this is a, I believe, 10mm. Fingers over it. Well, it says somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, 10mm. So 10mm socket for that one bolt in the middle, and then the other 2 were the 5/16 on each end. I used my 3/8 ratchet to get the lug nuts off the tire. You can use your tire iron if you want. And then I used a 1-ton jack as well to lift up the car. Once again, you can use the one that comes with your vehicle. So the last 2 you can use standard with your vehicle. They'll work just fine.